I knew my mom hated me being independent, but I never expected her to weaponize a plane ticket against me. She looked straight at me and said, "Flights are $860 each. If you can't pay, don't come." For a second, the whole room froze, my own family watching like I was some unwanted stranger. They didn't know what I was hiding, or what I was about to do. Before I continue, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because what happened next shocked even me. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just sat there quietly as my sister Megan smirked, acting like she'd finally won something. She whispered loud enough so I could hear, "She won't come. She's always broke." My mom didn't correct her. She didn't even look guilty. Instead, she started planning the entire family trip like I wasn't even sitting there. Inside, something cracked. But not the way they expected. Megan bragged about the hotel she booked. My stepbrother Ethan laughed and said, "Josie can just stay home and watch the pictures online." The way they laughed felt like knives. But they had no idea, they were laughing at the wrong person, because for the last 2 years, I had been building something they knew nothing about. Late nights. No weekends. No help, just me, grinding silently while they mocked my life choices. My mom waved her phone in my face again. "Just so you're clear, Josie," she said, "I'm not covering your ticket. We're not doing discount drama this year." Their voices became noise, their arrogance became fuel, and their assumptions became a perfect trap they walked into themselves. I leaned back, calm, maybe too calm, and said, "Mom, are you sure you want to stick with that rule?" Everyone turned, the air changed, even Megan's smile froze, because they realized I wasn't reacting. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't the old Josie. Something was coming. And they felt it, the moment I pulled out my phone and opened that app. Their expressions shifted from smug to confused, and then to fear. They had no idea what I was about to reveal. The moment I unlocked my phone, Megan leaned forward like she was waiting for me to embarrass myself. "What now?" she said. "You gonna check discount flights?" Her voice dripped with that same fake confidence she'd used on me since we were kids, but I didn't even look at her. I opened the app slowly, letting the suspense build in the air around us. My mom crossed her arms. "Josie, don't start. You know the rules. If you can't afford it, just stay home." This time, I smiled, a small smile, but sharp enough to cut the entire room, because they didn't know that while they called me slow, weak, irresponsible, I was building something bigger than all of them combined. And now that truth was about to walk straight into their perfect little world. Megan rolled her eyes. "Mom, she's stalling. The trip is for people who actually have their life together." Ethan snickered. "Yeah, like investors meeting in the lobby type of people. Not whatever she does." That one actually made me laugh, because if they had any idea who I had been meeting over the past year, they wouldn't even breathe like that around me. I turned the screen toward them just a little, just enough for them to see the numbers lighting up. At first, they didn't react, then my mom blinked hard. Ethan leaned closer. Megan's jaw actually dropped. "Hold on," she whispered. "Is that your balance? $312 for 89. And that wasn't even the part that scared them. My mom struggled to speak. "Josie, what is this? Where did this money come from?" Her voice was no longer strict, no longer confident. It was shaking. I locked my phone again, slow and calm. "You told me not to come if I couldn't pay the $860, I said. So I'm just checking if my card has enough." The way their faces drained of color was priceless. Megan snapped out of it first, her voice suddenly sweet, too sweet. "Josie, you should have told us. We didn't mean," but that switch in her tone? That desperation? It was the clearest sign that something darker was hiding behind her fake concern. Megan's smile turned soft, almost trembling, like she'd just realized the game wasn't in her control anymore. "Josie, wait. Don't take it the wrong way," she said, inching closer. "We just didn't know you were doing so well." I watched her shift from bully to best friend in 5 seconds flat. Classic Megan. My mom tried to recover too. "You should have told us, honey. We thought you were struggling." Struggling? These were the same people who told me I was a failure every time I tried something new, but now that they saw the money, their entire energy flipped like a switch. Ethan leaned forward, suddenly curious. "So, what exactly do you do? Must be something big, right?" I could feel it, the greed sliding into the room like a shadow. Megan tried again, touching my arm like we were close. "You're coming on the trip, right? We'll all stay together. We can even share rooms. It'll be fun, Josie." She wasn't inviting me out of love, she was calculating. And she wasn't even hiding it well. That's when I noticed it, my mom and Megan exchanging a quick look. A guilty look. A look that said they had already made plans. Plans that didn't include me. I narrowed my eyes. "Why are you suddenly so eager for me to come?" Megan froze for half a second, then forced a smile. "It's a family trip. Of course we want you there." But something was off, very off. Ethan shifted in his seat. Mom cleared her throat, and that's when I spotted Mom's open planner on the table. 2 rooms. Booked, but 4 people going, not 5. Not me. They hadn't just excluded me, they'd already paid for everyone else's tickets, hotel, and activities, everyone. Except me. If you can't pay, don't come. Line wasn't about money. It was a message. They never wanted me there in the first place. Before I could even react, Megan closed the planner quickly. But it was too late. I had already seen my name missing. I had already seen the truth, she whispered, panicking now. Josie? We can add you. It's not a big deal. But the lie was too loud, too desperate, and then I said the words that made all 3 of them stiffen in their seats. Why were you trying so hard to keep me off this trip? The room turned ice cold, and Megan. She slipped. She said the one sentence that exposed everything. Because you ruin everything, Josie. The second she said it, she realized she'd just given herself away, but the real twist? What she ruined was their plan, not mine. Because you ruin everything? Josie. The moment Megan said those words, the whole room stopped breathing. Her face turned white. Like the truth slipped out before her brain could block it. Mom's eyes widened in panic. Ethan muttered, dude? Seriously? Under his breath. I leaned back, calm. So that's how you really feel? Megan swallowed hard. Josie, I didn't mean it like that. Oh, you meant it exactly like that, I said. You never planned for me to come. Not on the trip. Not anywhere. Mom tried to jump in, her voice shaky. Honey, listen. No, Mom, I cut her off. You tried to make me feel poor so you could justify excluding me. And when I didn't react, you panicked. Their faces were a perfect mix of guilt and fear, but I wasn't even close to done. I stood up and placed my phone on the table. You want to know what I do? Fine. Their heads snapped toward the screen. I own the travel agency you booked your trip through. Megan's mouth fell open. Ethan choked. Mom blinked rapidly, like her brain stopped working. I tapped the screen once. Every booking? Every room? Every flight? They all go through my system. And guess what? They leaned in without meaning to. You used my company to plan a trip without me. And then told me I wasn't invited. The shock hit them like a slap. Mom stuttered. Josie? Why didn't you tell us? Because every time I try to share something good, I said, you either mock it, or try to take credit for it. Megan suddenly tried to grab my hand, voice trembling. Okay, fine. We messed up. But look, you're doing so well. You should come with us. We can all go together, right? There it was again, that greedy desperation. I stared straight at her. You're not inviting me out of love. You're inviting me because you think I'll pay. She flinched hard. Ethan looked away, ashamed. Mom pressed her lips together. I leaned forward. Should I tell you the best part? They didn't answer, but their silence screamed. You know the hotel you booked? Mom nodded slowly. I own that too. Megan gasped. You what? Their entire trip was under my name. My business. My rules, and they had no idea that the next thing I said would flip their perfect vacation upside down. The room went dead silent after I said it. Megan looked like she'd swallowed her own breath. Ethan's face turned red, and my mom. She suddenly looked 10 years older, like reality had cracked straight through her pride. You own the hotel too? Mom whispered. I nodded slowly. Not just that hotel. 5 more in the same chain. You booked everything through my company. You're staying in places I built from scratch. While telling me I don't belong. Megan stood up fast, her voice shaky. Josie, listen, we didn't know, that's the problem, I replied calmly. You never try to know. The only time you look at me is when you think I'm less than you. Ethan rubbed his forehead. Man, we really messed up. But the truth was deeper than that. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was years of them treating me like the weak one, the quiet one, the unimportant one. I spent my entire childhood being the shadow while Megan got praise for breathing. And Ethan got rewarded for doing the bare minimum. And now, the shadow owned the lights. I unlocked my phone again and slid it across the table. A different screen this time. A flight dashboard, all their names, all their bookings, all under my authorization. Code. Megan's face twitched. Josie, what are you doing? I looked at her without blinking. Something you should have thought about before calling me a burden. Mom stepped forward quickly, voice trembling. Honey, please, don't do something you'll regret. I raised an eyebrow. Why would I regret it? You said if I couldn't pay, I shouldn't come. You made the rule, right? Mom froze, and since I am the one who controls these bookings, I continued, I decided to follow your rule. Ethan gulped. What rule? I turned the screen toward them. Only people who respect me get to come. Megan's jaw unhinged. Josie, no. You can't cancel our trip. We packed. We took off from work. Mom paid for, she paid me, I said simply. Every dollar you spent? It went into my company. Into my pocket. The color drained from her face, and since it's my system, I added, I can also freeze your bookings. Megan's voice cracked. You're not serious. I tapped the screen once. 3 red notifications flashed instantly. Booking frozen, booking frozen. Mom gasped loudly. Josie. It's temporary, I said calmly. I'm not cruel. I'm just giving you a taste of the rules you made for me all my life. Megan suddenly broke down. Josie, please? Don't ruin the trip. I didn't mean what I said. Yes, you did, I replied. And you said it because you thought I had nothing. She didn't even deny it, now that the truth was out. All 3 of them stood there, small, embarrassed, exposed. Then I softly said the sentence that sealed everything. If you want those bookings back, you're going to apologize like you mean it. Megan blinked rapidly. Apologize? Right now? Right now. She looked at Mom and Ethan, like she expected them to defend her. Not this time. Ethan nodded at her. Just apologize, Meg. We messed up. Mom looked down, ashamed. Do it. Megan inhaled deeply, her pride fighting a war inside her chest, but she lost. She lowered her head. Josie? I'm sorry. For everything. For assuming. For judging. For treating you like less. Her voice cracked again. I was wrong. Then Ethan stepped forward. I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have joked about your life. You're doing better than all of us. Mom finally spoke, tears in her eyes. I'm proud of you. I should have said it before today. I let the silence hang. Long enough for them to feel the weight of it. Then I tapped the screen again. Bookings reactivated. 3 green notifications flashed. Megan let out a shaky breath. So, you're coming with us? I smiled, just a little. No. I'll meet you there. They looked confused. I grabbed my bag from the chair. My flight leaves tonight. First class. Megan choked. Tonight? First class? I shrugged casually. My company. My rates. And just when they thought the shocks were over, I added, I also upgraded your rooms. Presidential suite. My treat. They froze again, this time from disbelief. Why would you do that after everything? Mom whispered. I walked toward the door and looked back at them. Because success taught me something you never did, I said softly. Being better doesn't mean being cruel. It means being in control. The door clicked behind me, leaving them stunned in their own silence, and as I walked away, one thought filled my chest with calm fire. All my life, they treated me like the weakest one. But today, they finally learned who I really am.